Walmart has two super inexpensive streaming devices. Let's check them out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out the ONN Streaming Stick and Streaming Device from Walmart, and they're both really cool. Here's their boxes. We're gonna just get them out of the way because we got other things to look at. So, see you later, boxes. Now, the smaller of the two is the ONN FHD Streaming Stick, and this, as with the other one, features Android TV. You can hook it up with your Google account. It's super easy if you have an Android tablet or phone. Features Dolby Audio, 802.11, ABGN, and AC Wi-Fi, as does the other one. And it works with 100 to 240 volts of power. So there's this one, and this does 1080p. This is an HD device, so it's super simple to work with if you have even like a computer monitor like my Acer, and this is 1920 by 1080. That's an HD monitor. This is perfect for that. Now, the other one, and I'm gonna have to unplug it to be able to show you, this honestly is ridiculously tiny. This is a 4K unit. So if you have a 4K display or a 4K television, this is perfect for that. So this is the ONN streaming device. Honestly, I don't know why Walmart couldn't come up with a better name, like maybe streaming 4K unit or something like that. But be that as it may, here are the two devices. This one is the device, and it's 4K, and this one is the stick, and it's HD. Now, they're mostly the same. There are a couple of slight differences. The streaming device has a single power unit, so it's not two separate components, whereas you can see here that the stick actually has a separate box, and then it's powered by a micro USB cable. The reason they did that is because a lot of TVs and a lot of displays now have USB plugs on the back. So you can power this by plugging it into the USB port on your television. So you don't actually need this, so it never has to be plugged into the wall. Now, the other thing is that this plugs directly into HDMI, and that doesn't really work well on some TVs, so the stick includes this HDMI extender, and the idea is that you plug it into one end, and then you have a cable that's much more flexible in terms of plugging it in. Now, that's everything that comes with the stick. Oh, along with the remote, we'll get to that in a second. The streaming device has HDMI itself, and it comes with an HDMI cable, obviously very helpful, and this all-in-one power unit, also micro USB. Not a fan of micro USB, but you plug it in once and you're good to go. Now, I'm using a different HDMI cable simply because that lets me show you the one that's included, right? Now, both of them have exactly the same remote. You can see that. And when I tell you the price, it's really remarkable how inexpensive it is. But let's have a quick close-up of the remote so you can see it has shortcut buttons to YouTube, Netflix, Disney Plus, and HBO Max, probably the four most popular services. And assuming this is powering up, we should get this to work in just a minute. Now, I should explain that my Acer monitor has no speakers, so I'm using this JBL as my mini sound bar, and it works really well. Obviously, you're probably gonna be plugging it into a television, and your television has built-in speakers, or you have a sound bar, or you have an entire surround sound system. It works great with that. So this is the 4K unit, and a little hard for me to see, but if we just go into Netflix, then we should get some audio. Come on, there we go. And I don't have the rights to show you any of these channels, but we can certainly look at the sort of demos as if you hadn't subscribed. I actually subscribe to all of these, that's another story. But you can see the image is quick, it's clean. This is a 4K image being handed to this display, which is more than it can handle. So it's just doing the best it can. This would work perfectly well with the stick, but honestly, the price difference is so minuscule that there's probably no reason not to just get the 4K unit. But let's jump back to home, and home shows you some of the many things because these devices are running Android TV. So they're running the same operating system that you'd get on other more expensive devices like Roku or a Fire Stick or something, right? So these are entirely functional. There's nothing Walmart about them. You're not locked into some sort of Walmart ecosystem. They're just selling this device at a remarkably inexpensive price. Now, it shows you all these things. You can go to the Google Play Store to get more stuff and everything. But honestly, the single best feature of both of these devices is that they have built-in Chromecast, which is fantastic. Because from your PC, from your Mac, from your iPhone, from your Android phone, you can find content you want to watch and send it directly to the unit via Chromecast without any wires. It is like Apple AirPlay, but better and way more compatible across way more devices. So plug this into the back of your TV at your hotel room or something, and you have a massively better multimedia environment for really like less than the cost of breakfast at the hotel restaurant. So really not much else to talk about. I really like these things. They're really cool. Let me give you a couple of close-ups though. So first off, on the ONN FHD Streaming Stick, there's really not much to see. There's literally the micro USB on one side for power, and then the HDMI out on the end that you plug in. On the other one, the 4K streaming device, then it has micro USB on one end for power and a full HDMI connection on the other end that you can plug in the cable. That's included. Really, that's it. There's not much else to look at. We already looked at the remote. It has lots of features. You can talk to the remote. You can use this in very sophisticated ways, which is startling when you find out how inexpensive it is. Which leads to the question, all right, then how inexpensive is it? But before we get to the price, I'm going to ask if you could click or tap on that subscribe button. Really appreciate when you subscribe to my channel, and give me some feedback too. What else could I have demonstrated that would have made you say, wow, that's really cool? Really, I feel like it's all about streaming popular channels, and that's exactly what these do, and they do really well. Okay, now prices. This is the ONN FHD Streaming Stick. It is HD, not 4K, and it is $24.88 at walmart.com. By comparison, this little unit that I'm going to leave plugged in so we have something on the screen, this little unit is the ONN streaming device. It is 4K, so this is comparable to the Apple 4K Apple TV unit, and it is significantly less expensive, like ridiculously less expensive. It's $29.88 at walmart.com. Honestly, this makes it a no-brainer acquisition. Get one of these, plug it into a computer monitor, an older TV, the TV in your bedroom, and boom, you're fully streaming in 4K, everything you could possibly want. It is super easy. It's really easy to configure the whole thing thanks to the Android configuration. And I'm a big fan of these devices, and the fact that it has this simple, easy to use remote, and the batteries for the remote are included. Pretty nice, right? There's nothing not to like here, honestly. I mean, I wish I had some criticisms. The only complaint I have is I just really dislike micro USB as a connection, but it's not something you're using a lot. You're not going to be plugging, unplugging, plugging, unplugging. You're going to set it up once and then never touch it again, so you can probably manage. That's all I got. I am going to go back to HBO Max, so I'm going to have to catch you in my next video.